Hi, my name is Mike Koenigs, and you're watching You Everywhere Now TV, and today we're talking about the best interview questions to get the most out of a guest. And I want to tell you a little story before I get this thing rolling, and that is, I love interviews and interviewing, and for years I studied Johnny Carson. The guy, I loved that guy on TV. I grew up with him. And then Charlie Rose. And these days, we've got some incredible interviewers who've been on camera. Jon Stewart, for example. I happen to enjoy watching and listening to Bill Maher, and now we also have some great late night TV like Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, etc., etc. They're very good interviewers. We can learn a lot from them. But one of the best ways to build your celebrity status and get some great content out and not have to be an expert or an authority yourself, or a celebrity for that matter, is to interview other people. So, bottom line here is I'm going to share with you a bunch of really awesome interview questions that you can ask a person that will really pull the best out of them. Grab their authentic message, connect them with you, and have people say, hey, you are an awesome interviewer. So let me give you the very first one. And this is really, really good. This is something that Tim Ferriss talks about, but it's also something that if you study interviewers and you pay attention to what they ask and what kind of emotion it evokes, this is really powerful. And that is, tell me about a time when. So for example, if I were asking someone a question right now, or maybe I were getting interviewed, I'd say, hey, when was the first time you knew you wanted to start your first business? My response would be, I was born that way. Ever since I was 5 years old, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and a business person. I loved freedom. It drove and motivated me. Well, that's going to evoke some great stories. Okay, let me give you another one. This would be, tell me about the day or moment or time when. Okay, well, one of them that I've been asked before, which is absolutely true, is tell me the moment when you first found out you had cancer. Turns out just a little over 3 years ago, I had some signs, some symptoms, and I was diagnosed with stage 3A cancer. And from there, I went on an amazing journey that truly changed my life and the relationship that I have with my son, my wife, and everyone I've ever worked with. Well, you can imagine the kind of questions you get. What kind do you have? What's the biggest lesson you learned, et cetera, et cetera. This is any kind of a question like that's going to create more questions. It's going to create some intrigue from the audience. Now, here's another one. Tell me the story of. Okay, so here's a good one, for example. A lot of people don't know this, but I met my wife in Greece. So how did you meet your wife in Greece? From there, I go on about how we spent 3 weeks together on a journey with 7 other people in this incredible place. We spent time together. Bottom line is, whatever happens in Greece stays in Greece. No, what ended up happening is it was a great journey. A year later, I asked her to marry me on the Eiffel Tower on my knee in front of her mom. And 1 year later, we were married. And 1 year after that, our son was born. So we got things rolling, but it all began in Greece. And trust me, it's a great story. So here's another one. Describe the conversation when. So I have one, for example. Describe the conversation when you closed the deal with Richard Dreyfuss and he showed up in your studio. Okay, I've got a great story about how that happened, how I met Richard Dreyfuss on a flight to South by Southwest. Ended up handing him my book and introducing myself to him with a really, really powerful phrase. I'll tell you more about that another time. Okay, here's another one. What were the first steps that got you to blank, okay? So here's an example, is what were the first steps that helped you do your first $1 million online product launch where you earned over $1 million in only a week, okay? So I've got a great story. It turns out I've done 13 multi-million-dollar launches online by selling or creating products that have been sold using online launches. All right, now I'm gonna share with you some questions that Howard Stern uses. Now, I will warn you ahead of time, these are a little edgy, but Howard Stern asks pretty much the same questions of his guests all the time. The reason I'm telling you this is having a formula for what kind of questions you ask is a great way to get and hook an audience. And he's figured out that these things always work. So here's one of them. How much are you worth? Okay, you got a big cojones to ask that question and be in a celebrity status to ask someone that. Here's another one. What do you do with your money? Okay, it's going to tell you a lot about someone. Now here's another one. When you were single, what was your sex life like? Okay, that's good. That's interesting. Very intriguing. You're going to invoke some awesome responses from that. Another one, what drugs did you do? Okay, good. Now here's another one. Who's jealous of you? Just imagine when he's talking to celebrities, what kind of things come up from that. And here's another one. Who screwed you over? Oh, that's again going to really reveal something about someone. All right, so here's what I'm going to tell you right now. I hope you've enjoyed this video because I've created a whole bunch more. So if you want to learn more about You Everywhere Now, how you can share your message with the world and be seen, heard, listened to, viewed, anytime, anywhere, on demand, then check out youeverywherenow.com or visit the shortcut link, which is yen.tv. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you click the subscribe link right now and share it with a couple of friends too. Comment below. I'd love to read any ideas that you have, no matter what they are. This is Mike Koenigs, and I'll see you in another video real soon.